The group of 18 Republican senators is also demanding that by May 10th, 10 days after the new rule goes into effect on May 1st, that Director Thompson tell them how the policy decision was made. A short time ago, I spoke to Kentucky U.S. Senator Roger Marshall, who wrote that letter. Senator, nice to talk to you, sir.
Greta, great to be with you.
So explain this to me, sir, because as I understand it, if you don't have a mortgage, you're not looking for one, let's say you're over 60 probably, then you're safe because you're not going to pay this extra little fee. But if you are looking for a mortgage and you have great credit score, you're going to have to pay a little something extra that someone with not such good credit score who wasn't as financially prudent does. How can this be?
Well, it shouldn't be, Greta. Essentially, this is what's happening. It reminds me a lot of the subprime policies that created the financial crisis of 2008. So what they're doing is the White House is telling Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to give people with poor credit scores with lower income, they're asking them to give them a lower rate as well as a lower down payment, and they're going to pass those costs on to people with good credit scores. No one thinks that that's fair, and what we're really concerned about is we're creating a crisis for people that are going to be in a home that they cannot afford. And then the second point is this: the White House is doing it illegally. That normally when they write a rule like this, they have to present it and they allow a comment period. So what they're doing is illegal and unconstitutional.
All right. When did this rule get put in? When did someone decide this rule was going to happen?
Well, I think it was in the dark of the night. Sometime like in the past week, we became aware of it, and that's when we wrote a letter. So about 5 days ago is when we first saw it. Again, it went through no comment period, and that's why we're asking for some type of an explanation. And if they don't give us a good explanation, then I think that they can be, the federal government will have to step back and write this over and give us that comment period. And then finally, we'll do a Congressional Review Act where it would only take 50 plus one person to be able to repeal this.
All right, well, it seems a little too late for some people. I mean, if it's going into effect May 1st, why are you giving them until May 10th to answer this question? They should answer it now, or at least before May 1st.
Greta, please don't ask me to explain the Biden administration. You know, this is part of Biden economics, Biden inflation.
No, but you
that's why the real underlying problem here is how much expensive houses are. That's what's really driving the biggest problem here is people cannot afford to get in a house, and new houses are not being built because the inflation's went up so much, if you can find workers to build them in the first place.
All right, well, when do you expect the director to respond to you? When have you given her to respond to you?
I think it'll be probably in their order of months. They never have responded typically sooner than about 45 days.
Okay.
So I think that they'll be moving forward with their plans. This Biden administration is not afraid of doing something unconstitutional. They basically are daring us to be sued. Some state, some good district attorney general of a state will have to sue them over this.
All right, well, I'm looking at the letter that's being sent to Senator Thompson. It says that she has till May 10th to answer. It goes into effect May 1st. Is that a typo? I mean, I don't understand, like, if people are going to get hurt by this, it has to have some level of urgency. I mean, look, people, spend a lot of money buying these houses and they're worried. So why not put the pedal to the floor on them and say, you got to tell us now?
Well, you assume that the Biden administration wants to follow the law, that they want to do the right thing, but they're not going to. They're going to ignore us like they always have. This administration continues to create crisis after crisis, and then whatever their solution are creates four more crises. So this is the basic cycle over here. They want to keep our eye on this. In the meantime, they think we're going to forget about the inflation, about the price of gasoline, the cost of groceries. But I'm telling you, America is not forgetting right now. It's hurting out there.
If you say this was sort of done in the dark of night, do you believe that President Biden has any idea about this rule, or do you think this is just this independent agency that, for whatever reason, decided it was okay to do this?
Well, Greta, I would absolutely be speculating on that. I couldn't imagine that this would raise to the level of the Oval Office, but I really can't tell you the answer to that.
But see, so then there lies it's likely it's some independent agency without the president even knowing about it, although he should, as the buck stops there, the president. It goes into effect May 1st. 18 letters jump on that to protect these people of good credit, and it goes into May 1st, but you say, well, don't bother, you don't have to reply till May 10th, and then you don't even think they're going to reply by then.
Right, Greta. So again, let's think about the big picture of the Biden administration, this policy of what they call equity, which by the way, I don't know where that is in the Constitution or in the Declaration of Independence either, is that we were we're all guaranteed an equality of opportunity. This situation is rewarding people who have not had a good credit score, who have not maintained their finances the way that they should be, and they're punishing those of us who have worked so hard to maintain those good credit card scores. But again, there's no logic. No matter where we go, there's no logic to this policy. And all I can tell you is everybody I'm meeting with is just being swallowed up with inflation as well as regulation. So one more regulation for the folks to jump through. Our banks are just overwhelmed with them.
I agree. It's a fairness question, and I think people who have worked hard, have good credit, have reason to wonder about this. Senator Marshall, thank you, sir.
You bet, Greta. Thanks. Good talking to you.